Welcome, everyone. I am so excited today to kick off the third season of Leading from the Library, our Future Ready Librarian podcast series. And today I am especially excited to welcome my friend Amanda onto the show.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
I know when I was getting people all lined up for the third season, I couldn't think of a better person to ask to be my first guest. And so just to start, Amanda, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you?
Okay, my name is Amanda Jones, and I am a 5th and 6th grade teacher librarian at Live Oak Middle School in Watson, Louisiana, which is about 30 minutes outside of Baton Rouge. We're kind of borderline rural suburban. We can't decide what we are yet. But it is the school that I went to middle school. My husband went to middle school, my daughter. I've been there. This will be my 21st year. And I love it there, but it's just 5th and 6th grade. So I love that I can focus on for my collection. I don't have a huge wide range. I can focus on that just 5th and 6th grade, but this will be my 21st year there.
That's great. And I love seeing your background. And she told me before we started that that's her library. And so it's so cute. I love it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, we all know that we went through a lot the last 18 months. And I know just watching what you have done, and I was reading a little bit about you earlier. I love that you are described as a wonder defender and knowledge cultivator. Tell us a little bit more what that means.
I don't know. It was a tweet that I saw, and I don't remember if it was author Heather L. Montgomery or somebody. And they said school librarians should always be wonder defenders and defend, So I hope that my library is a place where I can defend wonder, like have books and programs for every child at my school, cultivate that knowledge and create lifelong learners and readers.
Well, you definitely did that during the pandemic. And that's another thing that was so exciting to watch and to watch them, what you did for your kids. And I think, like you said, working with 5th and 6th graders, I can see why this was something that you took on, and I bet they just loved it. And so I can't wait until you tell everybody about what you did during the pandemic, and just start with the why behind, what that looked like for you at your school.
So our school buildings closed on March 13th. And in Louisiana, they said, oh, we might be back in 2 weeks. We might be, nobody knew. And I had a huge community presence. Our library does on social media. And so I knew they were going to be looking at our library for resources and what was happening in the schools. And I was reading so many articles over that weekend after the school building closed. And I wanted to do something for the kids because they were going to be trapped in their house, not able to leave for 2 weeks. At that time, it was just 2 weeks. Then it turned into forever. So I thought, well, if they can't go out in the world, I'm going to bring the world to them. So I started the virtual tours. And it started when I read an article. It was like top 10 museums where you can visit virtually. And at that point, I didn't know anything about Zoom. I had never heard of it. I had never heard of nothing. So I spent that weekend studying all the platforms, figuring out ways that I could bring the world to my students and the community as a whole.
So your tours are called, what are the virtual tours called?
Journey with Jones.
Journey with Jones. You guys have to check them out. So amazing. And so where's the first place that you took them on the virtual field trip?
The very first place. So I started somewhere where I was familiar, somewhere that I had visited. So I knew I was familiar with it. So we went to the Palace of Versailles in France. And I found so many different links and different rooms that you could look at in 360 degrees. So I used Canva, and I made a little promotion, little ad, and I put it out in the community. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to stream live to our library's Facebook via Zoom. And whoever shows up, shows up. And I think we had like 50 students show up on the first one. And I was so excited because as I'm touring, and it was live streamed, and the parents and the students were commenting on Facebook, asking me questions and tell me, go back to this room, go back to that room. And then the parents sent me pictures of their kids watching the virtual tour. So I just knew, I'm like, well, this has to be a series. We have to keep doing this.
Oh, that's so cool. So do you set up Google Slides before and then you use that throughout your tour?
Yes, I go in and I use a variety of different places like Google Arts and Culture. I was using some expeditions, but they shut that down. So, well, they're working on it. So I use Google Earth, different links. I use Slide Deck to house those links. And I go, every room or every destination is a different slide with the links. And then I provide the kids access to that slide deck so that they can go and tour on their own. I show them, so some of the places that we visit have VR capabilities. And so I've taught them this past school year how to build their own Google Cardboard viewers. So I'm like, well, go back and look at the slide deck and you can look at this in VR if you want to.
Oh, I bet they love that.
They do.
And how many places have you been so far?
I lost count after 50. From March to May in 2020, while we didn't go back to school that in the building that year. So I think I did 20 something places, and I was trying to hit every continent. And I was taking a request from the students, like, where do you want to go next? So some of them wanted to go to Tanzania. Some of them wanted to go to the US parks, Disneyland. So really it was student led. They would email me and tell me where they wanted to go.
And that's a good thing too, because then you can go where they want to go and help them find
Yes.
those places. That is awesome.
Yes.
Now, can they go back and revisit those at any time?
Anytime. I have every single slide deck and video on our school library website. And then, so we have the fun, I call them the fun places that we did from March to May. And then I did them over the summer as well. When school started back, I started collaborating with science and social studies teachers. So we were doing focus trips to hit their standards. So like, for instance, in science, we visited a plant and animal cell virtually, and they can go back and their teachers can go back and view all of those at any time.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because when I was reading an article online, I think it was in Library Journal, it said that you did a lot of collaborating with the teachers to make sure that you hit the standards as well. And so are the teachers excited about what's to come this next year?
Yes, they are. I try to do, so we have 5th and 6th grade. So I try to do one for 5th grade science and social studies each, and one for 6th grade science and social studies each month. So I try to do 4 a month, but I'll also do them for ELA teachers if they want to go on lit trips. But they're excited because we won the Deborah Rochelle grant, and we are about to purchase Oculus Quest Goes. I think they're what, I gotta go back and look at that. But we're gonna have sets, and the kids are actually now we were looking at it via a laptop, but now they're gonna get to use the VR headsets with the little handles, and they can click on the links, and it's gonna be really amazing. I'm so excited about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, we took our kids because we couldn't go on any field trips. We took our middle school kids to some World War I and II virtual tours, and we have the Merge goggles, and so they just love that. I mean, it truly brings their learning to life, which I think is so exciting.
It does. I'm really excited about it,
That's,
about going in VR.
yeah, congrats on that. That's so
Thank
cool.
you.
I know. So as we think about like going back to school, what else are you excited about this year?
Well, we got several grants this summer, so I'm excited about all the new books that we're about to be getting. We did have a little water damage in our library in May, this past May, and so the kids were really sad because it wiped out our fantasy section, just where the water came in through the roof. But through different grants and things, we're not only are we able to replace it, but we're like getting even more books in our fantasy section and the rest of the library. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm really also excited about I discovered Author Fan Face Off, the series, and Stacy Ratner and Steve Schenken, and I hope I said their names correctly. And so I am going to be doing a huge display of all the books in the 50 episodes of the Author Fan Face-Off and putting the QR codes on the books so the kids can check it out and go watch the coordinating Author Fan Face-Off videos. I'm really excited about that too.
Oh, I love that idea. You got to share that.
I am.
I know. I think 5th and 6th graders are just the best. Like they get so excited about all of the books and authors, and you can really talk to them about what they're reading, and it's awesome.
You can't seem to go wrong with 5th and 6th graders.
Yeah.
Like no matter what you do, they're like, I love you, Miss Jones.
I love that. That's so great. Well, they have to be pretty proud of you too. I waited till the end so you could share some special awards that you got this last year.
They were pretty excited. So I received, I was a co-librarian of the year from School Library Journal this year. And our central office, district office, made these huge banners. They hung them all over the schools. So the kids, like every day for a month, every kid was, congratulations, congratulations. That made me feel so good. And then this summer, I found out I am a 2021 Library Journal mover and shaker, which I never thought in a million. Well, I never thought I'd get the school library. I mean, but so excited about, but I will say a win for me is like a win for all librarians because we all work together. So I wouldn't be where I was without my PLN and everyone that shares everything. And but the kids were really excited there.
That is so great. Congratulations. I know
Thank
I
you.
always think that too. Like every time we can show how librarians can shine is truly a huge plus for our profession, just overall, because it really shows the great thing that librarians can do and why librarians are so important to have in every school.
Yes.
Yeah. So we thank you for that work.
Thank you. Like I've learned so many things from you. So thank you.
Oh, thanks. And I just love following everything. And I can't wait for everyone to check out what you do. And so where is the best spot for them to go to find you? Tell about your website and also how we find you on social.
So the school website is LOM for Live Oak Middle, lomlibrary.org. And if you go there, there's a whole link that says Journey with Jones. And it's got everything on there related to the virtual field trips. I also have a professional professional website with all of my blogs, which is librarianjones.com. So if they are interested in reading on some of my how-tos, how I've done some things, there's some blogs on there. Social media, I'm most active on Twitter. And it's at ABMACK33. That's my personal / professional Twitter. And our school library is at LO for Live Oak, LO Middle Library. Yeah, LO, sorry, I've got COVID brain right now. LO Middle Library is Twitter. And then Instagram is at LOM_library.
Awesome. And we'll put that in the description too. And so I'll check in with you so we make sure that we get that. But this has been so great. I was so excited for like 2 weeks to get to talk to you, Amanda, and to hear.
I've been excited too.
I'm so glad. And I hope to see you soon in person. And I can't wait to follow everything that you do this year.
Thanks again for having me and let me talk about my Journey with Jones series today.
Yes, you're welcome. We'll all be following now too. And just a big thanks to all of you for joining us again for season 3 of our Future Ready Librarian podcast series. And a special thanks to our friends at Follett who sponsor our podcast too. So have a great day and I will talk to everyone soon. Thank you for joining us for the Future Ready Librarian podcast, Leading from the Library. I would like to also thank our sponsor, Follett Learning, for their amazing continued support.